Hey guys, today we have George with us. George is one of my master coaches. He's done his training 4 years ago, and here I am back in his life in terms of a little follow up. And I'd love him to share his story with you in terms of before training, after training, in his story basically where he's in his life right now. George, welcome to the call. You're the CEO of the Fitness First in Middle East and in North Africa. So you have quite a big responsibilities over there, and you're running a company of a note, from what I hear. So, how are you? Where are you right now, though? Where are you in Dubai? Where are you right now?
Robert, thank you. I'm in Dubai. I'm sitting in my place of comfort where I give myself a good space and time to think. So in the corporate world, this would be my office. So you're joining me in my space. And since the course, actually, when I came back to the office, I thought to myself, I need to change this. So I create a place that has incredible energy. When people come in, they feel it, and it's a place where people feel comfortable. They can sit, they can relax, they can share ideas. So this is where I am at the moment. I'm in my comfortable space where free thoughts and free flowing energy is always available to me and to others.
Sounds like a good office to me.
Yeah. Very good, very good. And always an espresso handy.
Awesome. So George, tell me, I'm kind of, I have a little agenda here, not much really, but I really kind of wanted to get an idea, or for you to share a story in a way of where was George prior to meeting me, let's say, or coming from my training. What was life about back then? Just kind of before and after, really. So tell us a little bit about yourself or your circumstance in life before you done my training, and then we'll just take it from there, I guess.
Robert, fantastic. Before I came on your course, and the reason I came on the course was for personal development. I've always been someone who's invested a lot in myself, and as a leader of the business of organizations throughout my life, I've always had a real strong connection and leaning to help other people develop and grow. So coming on your course was to first help me develop myself and have a deeper understanding of myself. And then how could I transport that learning into an organization and let it flow from there? So that was the reason I wanted to come into the course. So who was George before that time? If I go back to when I was maybe early 20s, I was a professional footballer. I was traveling the world. I was a guy who was pretty carefree, not much responsibility, and I lived a life of adventure and freedom. And then as my journey continued and I got into the corporate world, I left that person behind and I became a bit more serious. I was a guy who picked up a lot more responsibility that came with the job. And I lost the adventure and I lost the free-flowing spirit of who I was. And so my life changed. And it was my choice that it changed. But this choice that you make is an invisible choice because it comes over time. It creeps up on you. And as you grow in the corporate world, so your personality takes on the mold of an organization and takes on a mold of responsibility and accountability. And it's all these words that are driven down. And I found myself in a place where in an organizational environment, was I being absolutely the best that I could be? And I was questioning myself. How was I engaging with other people? And sometimes I was a little bit uptight. Sometimes I could feel maybe my emotional intelligence wasn't where it needed to be. And I found myself in places of, the words that just I think it's humanity suffers with. You find yourself in a place of frustration, or you find yourself easily irritated in certain circumstances, and so you end up carrying all this negativity. Although in your mind you think you're a really positive guy, and your staff think you're a really positive guy, but internally, inside of you, you're just not gelling. It's just not, the sweet spot is just not there. So that's who I was before I came on your course. And then what did I discover when I came on the course? I mean, the course for me was absolutely amazing. In fact, I've been thinking about going and just doing it again because it was so amazing. You know, day 7, day 8 on the first course, day 7, 8, and 9 on the master course. Just amazing, just absolutely incredible. But what the course taught me, and the course over 10 days, it's such a beautiful experience. And this is how I explain it to my staff, because today up to 15 of my staff have attended your course, Robert, and of the 15, about 7 of them are now master coaches. So we have this amazing trickle-down effect in our business of just incredible energy and positivity that just permeates, and it's amazing how people like to latch onto it. People are all, you know, human beings are seeking, they're looking all the time, and how we're managing to get people to jump onto this level of positivity. But anyway, let me put that to aside for a second. You know, what I learned on the course, and when I say it was a beautiful journey, it starts off the first couple of days. You're discovering, you're there, you're listening, and you're on stage, and you've got such a great command of the stage and the audience and the lessons that you're giving people. And after the second and third day, the fourth day, it really starts to resonate with you, and it starts touching on, and it takes time for as you open yourself up, because the learning and development process, you got to open yourself up to the process, you know. And as you become more open and you become more flexible in that environment, you start taking in more of the learnings. And I found myself over the course, changing daily. In the beginning, maybe there was a little bit of resistance, because you got the old self and the new self, and you know, you're trying to work yourself out. And then as the course goes on, you start making the subtle adjustments internally, daily. They start coming to you, and you find what I found every morning when I started arriving for the sessions, and I couldn't wait for the music to start. I found myself just in a better place, and the next day I was even in a better place, and the following day I was even in a better place. And you find your high starts increasing, and you're asking yourself, wow, what's happening here? You learn over time. You just stop asking the questions and you just flow with it. But what you flow with is you realize that you're in total control. You're in total control of your environment. You're in total control of your emotions. You're in total control of your own level of intelligence in that time, in that space, in that situation. And once you start connecting with that, and you just go with it, and as the number of techniques that you share with people are, it's just many. There's many techniques that you share with people that you tap into every single day, even subconsciously. You tap into those techniques. I find myself doing it all the time. I find myself saying something, and then I backtrack, and I think to myself, wow, that the linguistics. That wasn't a very positive word. Let me backtrack. Let me change that word for a positive word, you know. And you learn this over time. And I found myself progressing to the point where I just fell in love with the course. And you realize the environment that you create. And for me, this was very important, because running an organization, you have to create an environment that your people can thrive in. You know, leaders have to create an environment of trust. They have to create an environment of hope. You know, the current world situation that people are in now, has the world changed? No, you just got to change your thinking. You change your thinking, and you can be as successful, if not more successful, and even greater success than you had previously, if you have the ability to change your thinking. But that thinking is the same thinking that gives your organization hope. It's the same thinking that can influence people to say, wow, these are new ideas, this is a new direction. So I found this on the course, and as I internalized it, I realized that these were such significant lessons that I could take back to the organization, which is actually what I was looking for, and how I could transport a different way of thinking. you know, and we know that our thoughts dictate our words, dictate our behavior, dictate our actions over a period of time and in any situation. And I became very conscious of that on a personal level and on a professional level. And when I got back to the office, very few people actually knew that I went on the course. Everyone just thought I was on leave for 10 days. But through my change in behavior, which was in the beginning, it was very conscious. I used to think about this situation. How am I going to go? How am I going to behave? What filters am I going to use? And over time, it's just become unconscious behavior. It's just become, call it natural. It's become who you are. And that's, I think, where you see the real growth. And from that point, I've had many of my staff saying, George, when I come into your office, I leave different. I feel different. You know, the energy is just amazing. And they don't realize it's not me. I mean, it's not me. It's just, it's what I'm sharing with them and how they're internalizing it. And the words I'm using are very different to the words I used to use. And I'm giving them encouragement. I'm giving them hope. I'm giving them belief. I'm allowing them to influence their own thought process at an elevated level. And this has transformed our organization to the point where our learning and development department, we've taken our entire curriculum and changed it into NLP language. So everyone that comes into our business as of 4 years ago has gone through a completely different training course than the previous team.
So in a way, you took this home and you made it a corporate culture in a way, right?
Absolutely. A corporate culture is absolutely the correct wording, with an ethos. An ethos that we lived. You got the culture and you got the ethos and the energy that it creates. It takes time. It takes time because, you know, you create this over time and over time and over time. And what you also realize is there's people in your organization that don't fit anymore. And in a really positive way, these people, they just kind of move on. And the new people you attract is the important one. The new people that your energy and your new behavior and the new momentum that your organization has created, not only by one person, but by many people saying many different things, using the same type of linguistics, be it on social media, on different platforms, you then start attracting a completely different employee into your organization. And wow, that's where the power comes from. Because when it becomes collective, what you teach one person has the ability to grow to 2, to grow to 4, to grow to 8, to grow to 32, to grow. It can just keep growing. And the power of that is just immeasurable. It's immeasurable in terms of the positivity it can bring to an organization. So who was I before and who was I during the course and who am I today is absolutely 3 different people. And very easy for me and even my staff recognize that there was 3 different people over this journey. And I encourage my staff to go on the course, to invest in themselves and to find the enlightenment because it's inside of them. And we call you the magician. You've got many names amongst the guys, you know, amongst all the trainers, all the master trainers. You got many names, you know. But everyone who spends time with you, you have a magnificent way of just tapping into the individual. Although there's a group of 30 or 40 people in your sessions, which creates an amazing energy in that environment. But you have a way which for me is it's the mark of a you know, you can use the word guru, of a master, but it's a mark of a true professional. When in 40 people, you can actually tap in to every individual on an individual basis. And that's what I found real important on the course, that you tapped into me on a real personal level. Although there were many other people participating, I was tapped into at a real personal level. And it's that I savor. And that's the connection I have with you today. Whether we see each other once a year, twice a year, whether we have a lunch together occasionally, I can still tap into it. I can still, every time I see you and we give each other a hug, I can still feel it's still there. And it's very unique. It's very, very unique. And I hope to have that connection with some of my staff. You know, when you mentor people and you can connect with them at that level, because all you're doing is you're encouraging them that there's a greater potential for them, and they're on a journey. People don't know, but their journey's already started. And if you can support them in the direction that they want to go, the journey just becomes more magnificent. And you have that ability to tap into individuals in a big forum and leave them in a significantly better place than when they first arrived. And for those who take it on and continue with it, the journey is just unbelievable. And of course, we know it's a journey. It keeps going. It keeps going. So Robert, for me, it's been fantastic. And I've passed this on to my children. My boy's 16 years old. Of course, I have very strategic ways of having conversations with him as a 16-year-old. But I've learned the linguistics are very important on how you can connect with someone. My daughter's 18. She has a real love for horses. Her connection and her energy is just amazing, because she seems to have a real connection with horses, which is, I know nothing about horses, but I can just see she kind of operates at a energy level and a frequency level which is slightly different to anyone else her age. And I've got them tapping into different videos, different meditations. I've got my kids, they're very curious about certain topics, and I find how that's actually helped enhance their experience, because kids at school live in a completely different environment. So we can give them tools that can help them, especially emotionally. Their journey becomes much easier when it comes to dealing with exams, dealing with friends, dealing with school results, and the pressures and the environment that kids live under today has helped me tremendously to tap into their environment, which before, you know what I mean, I would have just been a dad, you know, come on, let's do this, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's made me more aware, more self-aware, and the emotional intelligence is unparalleled when you want to put a value to it. How the course has helped me to take that to another level has been unparalleled. So Robert, once again, thank you. You know, and if I'm happy to share the successes. As you can see, I get excited, man, when I talk about this stuff. You know, man, my rate of speech goes up. I get excited.
I don't have those occasions often to get this direct feedback like this. You know, we get it during the training, but not like 5 years later, although some of you, or quite a lot of you really, you do stick around, we stay in touch somehow, and then the opportunities we create, we get to catch up. So it's not like the story ends, like you said, it continues. I don't want to interrupt you, but I have some things to tell you while you're speaking. Like you mentioned, I got quite a few of your staff coming, you know, for my training. So I got to know a couple of them as well. But here's the thing, feedback you probably don't get. The relationship you're describing to me now with your kids, in a way, I can't tell you this for all of them in a way, but the few that I remember, I can tell you that your staff, some of them, do experience you in that light. They do confirm to me that what you are telling me is happening. In other words, they experience you in that light. Some of them even experience you as, you know, like older brother or a father figure in a way. There's this genuine, warm-hearted, you know, the things you want to present now kind of thing here is exactly what they are experiencing when they walk into your office. It's one of those non-offices or open offices, what do you call them, that you described to me earlier on. It's like, hey, my office is full of books and stuff, and it's, what did you call it? Place of comfort. What did you call your office? What did you call it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a place of comfort. It's a place of thought. it's a place of expansion. You know, if you look at my ripple on the back of my wall here, we come in here, we take an idea, we expand it. You know, so that's my place. When people engage with me, I have to help them leave in a better place than when they came in. So it's just some of my personal philosophy. Yes.
So from what I hear or witnessed is that you are doing a great job at that. You know, the connections that your staff has with you certainly doesn't seem normal corporate setup, if you know what I mean. And it's beautiful to watch that. I mean, you're CEO of Fitness First in the North Africa and Middle East. That's a big responsibility. That's a big role to play, and yet you get to connect with your staff on this level. I think that's amazing, and certainly not ordinary, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if you get that feedback from them. I don't know if it ever comes back to you that you get to become aware of it. Because another thing I noticed with a lot of my coaches, they tend to forget who they were, if you know what I mean. They take this on, and like you said, even during the training, a lot of this stuff gets imprinted or embodied. So they don't know of coaching. They kind of become a coach, meaning all sorts of linguistics and the way they think, all sorts of behaviors, they get updated, and it becomes autopilot. It becomes, like you said, new natural, new norm in a way. So that also in my mind translates as effortless, because the moment you are not doing it consciously, applying some new learnings, and life becomes effortless, as in those things are now presupposed and just part of how you are, it becomes effortless, and we tend to forget how we were, you know. So I find that those conversations also useful, just getting you, hey, how were you? I can't believe I used to be like this. Like, I remember, but it seems so foreign, that kind of thing. So I don't know if you get feedback from them, if you get to stop in your new life and realize how far you came, or how different life is now. You know, for me, that's beautiful to create that environment where we actually get to stop sometimes and not dwell on the past or whatever, but just maybe you just go like, hey, well done, buddy. Like you know, to recognize your own success. I think that's important.
No, thank you. It's not shared openly. Some people will maybe share a little bit here and there, but where I get the real joy is when I see their behavior changing, when I witness it, when I see them in a situation, when I see them doing a presentation, and I know who they were 2 years ago, and then I listen to the presentation that they're doing today, and it's two different people, but in the same body, and that's where I get my real joy. That's where I get my real joy. And you know what, Robert? Interestingly enough, I've even got my finance team now that they change the slides. So I'll give you an example. They will have a slide that says revenue projection to avoid decline. Yeah. And I say to them, no, we're not talking that language. Revenue projection to show improvement.
So speaking of numbers, tell me, how was your business affected? So say 4 years ago, there was this intersection in your life in a way, and you brought it back home. You brought it at home as well, actually, but also to your work. So what happened numbers-wise? Let's have this corporate conversation, if you know what I mean. What happened in your business since you started implementing this, should I say, even more quality thinking?
Yeah, deeper, absolutely. Deeper quality, broader thinking, more creative thinking with endless possibilities. So it's a rule, you know, and we, of course, we don't want to break our own rules, but I have a rule, because I think this is a really cool rule in the business, that in a leadership role, you're not allowed to use the word no to your staff. So if someone comes to you and says, listen, I've got this great idea, a lot of times leaders say, no, wrong time, no, we don't have the budget, no, that's already happening in the marketplace, blah, blah, blah. So you're not allowed to say no. You have to explore the possibilities and the opportunities with the individual. That's the ripple effect. So the more you open yourself up to possibilities, to the word yes, all right, great idea, yes, that's possible. How can we improve it? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Wow, that's a great idea. So once you start with that philosophy, very simple philosophy, yeah, have a yes philosophy in your business, and then explore it from there. You'll be amazed at how many staff will want to come and talk to you and explore ideas with you, because everyone has a great idea. They just need someone to listen and encourage you.
Yeah, that's one way to tap into
And
the
that was
potential.
a very simple philosophy to say, right, let's explore. Yeah, the potential, correct. So what's that done to my numbers? It's right down to grassroots. We are more successful on social media. We have grown our membership base significantly over the last 4 years. Our net profit has increased. Our operating profit has improved. Our cash profit has improved. So people will know in the Middle East, Fitness First keeps expanding. We keep expanding because we have confidence from the shareholder. And the shareholder has confidence because our performance is there. But the attitude and the philosophy, and you talk about culture and ethos, has permeated itself down in the organization, that even if you take over the COVID period, yeah, which the COVID period for me was purely an opportunity to change the way you think. And that's what we installed in the business. So our clubs were closed. Let's think differently. We started doing online streaming. Our group exercise instructors started doing online streaming from their homes. It didn't matter that they were doing it in their living room, on a balcony, up a flight of stairs. It didn't matter, because the energy and the positivity that it created, because we were still engaging with our customers and we were giving it to them for free. Our customers were all sitting at home with not much to do. So we brought ourselves into their living rooms just by changing the way we were thinking. It kept my staff active, it kept them involved, it gave them a new sense of purpose, and for many of them, it created a business for them, because they realized that by doing things virtually and online, they were so popular that maybe they could go freelance and make a business for themselves. And some of them took that opportunity, which is fantastic, because by thinking differently, it created new opportunities for people, created new possibilities, allow them to explore it. So we encourage that. But it's from that, there's one example. Have a yes philosophy. Have a yes philosophy, then explore it. And explore the possibilities and the opportunities that lie with it. And watch the ripple effect over there. Watch the ripple effect, or how it just spreads across your organization. Because you can actually, to a point, you can sit back and just let it happen, because it will happen naturally. It'll just flow across your organization. So that's one area. And of course, the part of the team that have been on your training, they understand it and they buy into it really quickly, and they have their own training sessions with their teams where they drip feeding the same philosophy down into the business. So it's amazing. It's amazing over 4 years how we've changed the culture and the ethos of the organization, and backed up by superior results, which is fantastic.
Aren't we in the middle of this global crisis? Isn't everything going down? Not for you, apparently.
You know what, what this situation, what has helped me to realize is that, you know, there's a tremendous amount of humanity that lives in fear. And they live in fear because there's a level of ignorance, they don't understand it, and because they tap into the different media that's there. And when you tap into different media, you just open yourself up to whatever someone's telling you. And if you don't do any of your own work and your own understanding behind it, you just become part of that person's process. So over this period, you realize there's a tremendous amount of humanity that live in fear. Now, there's a different part of humanity that has to bring people hope. and has to bring people encouragement and has to bring people new possibilities. Now, people like you, people like me, people in leadership roles, we can decide, and anyone can decide, on which side of the fence do you want to sit on in this situation. Well, I choose to sit on the side of possibilities, on creating hope for my organization and expanding your thinking. So we can call it what we want. We can call it crisis, we can call it situation, we can call it lockdown. We can. For me, the name is totally irrelevant, because the fear culture that someone has today was always there. This situation has just elevated it. People that live in the realm of possibilities was always there, but this situation has now brought it to the forefront to say, wow, now I really got to go. Now I really got to try something else. Now it's pushed. So it's pushed people in either direction, depending on the choice you actually want to take. So the more we can influence people and show them the possibilities that are there, the more we can take the people that are living in fear and help them come across. And if you can do that really well, your business will flourish, because people will come across, they will trust you, they will understand that, wow, when I engage with this group of people, life just feels better. It feels more passionate. I leave this fear behind and I start becoming what was my normal previously. I start engaging again. I start feeling comfortable. I start doing my exercise. So we play a very, very important role to ensure that we create possibilities, unlimited thinking, positive energy for people out there. Because, Robert, the majority of people, of humanity, will live in fear. That's what they will do. So how do we take this as an opportunity to move these people across into the realm of possibilities? And we've managed to do that. We've managed to do that over this period, and we've reaped the financial rewards through the business. And we've done that by online streaming. We've taken PT into people's living rooms. We've taken group exercise into people's living rooms. We helped all our personal trainers to increase their knowledge through online training, online courses. We started a home selling equipment business. We started home selling rental business. We've commercially managed to renegotiate with all our landlords, because we're a blue chip tenant. They want us there when you know, let's say their normal comes back again. My normal is, it's an opportunity to get a better commercial deal from our landlord. So when you package it all, because we think about what's possible in the commercial round, what's possible to engage our customers, what's possible to keep our staff motivated, what's possible, then you realize when you package it all together, what comes out is success. Success jumps out the other side of it.
Well, that's the only way to actually tap into that creativity that we all have, to access that other wisdom, yeah, I call it, you know, the universal wisdom. Because for as long as we live in this state of fear or state of insecurity, I call it insecure thinking, right? So fear comes along, and there's just no ways we can access anything. We stay in the loop of our own thinking, of all the, you know, old programs, past conditioning and stuff. And it's a trap, really. So one way to access the creativity and all those insights we actually get, we need to be resourceful. We need to actually be to calm our minds, because only in that state of calmness you get to hear this other story. You know, you create a room, or should I say environment, for new thoughts to come in. Yes, I mean, you know this. I'm just in my usual mode.
yes. No, I understand. Absolutely. And it's very important in an organizational context that I can do so much as an individual. When I add 10 people to that, and 20 people, and 50, and 25 people, then it really becomes powerful, you know. And we've managed to do that because so many people have been on your training. So many people have been on your training. So many people have gone on the master training course. So I now have a deep-rooted foundation where people are thinking about the possibilities. So, but it take, it's taken my organization 4 years and a lot of support from you to get there. And to be honest, I don't think you know the impact that you've had on the organization. Huh?
Other than you occasionally shared with me, I wouldn't. How would I know? And this is why this series of interviews I wanted to do. It also reminds me, it's humbling, because I hear a story or two every once in a while, if you know what I mean. But those details, or should I say, I know there's a ripple effect. In fact, it's my little bit of a mission on my side. I wanted to create mission, to create ripple effects. I would invest more in a person who will continue coaching in one way or another, rather than just for the self-development, because I know that person will pick up that torch and they'll touch someone else's life, in a meaningful way, and that lights me up, if you know what I mean. So people that stay in touch, people that stay around, that stay in this conversation, I obviously know more of their progress afterwards than those who perhaps fade away from my radar in terms of being in touch and stuff. So I know probably 1% of what's really going on, or how many lives we managed to touch. And it's beautiful for me to kind of discover this. So sometimes, like I said, just for you, I just kind of came back to me. The thing we just did? I'm like, hey, this counts for you too, buddy. You could just as well speak. How many lives did you actually touch, or how much, So
you can't count. You can't count. You can't count how many people you've influenced to change their way of thinking for a better life. You can't. You've been doing this for how many years, Robert? 20, 30, 40?
Well, about 15 years, yeah.
15 years, you're talking thousands of people, and how many of those people? So no, fantastic, and
George, you know what my mom told me the other day? She said, when I was a kid, as in primary school type of kid, like early in I don't know what age specifically, but like a little boy, right? While she was in some meetings, or meeting some people or whatever, and I had no place on that table, if you know what I mean, as a kid. So she'd take me with me, but she couldn't leave me, unattended really. So I would tag along, but I would sit on the side and read a book or whatever. And what's really surprising to me to hear, because I wasn't aware of that consciously, she says, back then I was reading Carl Jung and Freud. I was like, what? I had no mental recollection that I was really, that this journey for me started a long time ago, if you know what I mean, in terms of studying the capacity of our brain to begin with, in terms of scientific stuff, but then all the psychological things. And I just never knew. I thought my journey is, 10, 15 years old, where apparently I've been tapping into this topic for quite some time, really, in the back.
Yeah, 30 years. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I believe that. If I go back to my journey when I started in this industry, I was always concerned about the guy next to me. When I played sports at school, I was always the captain of this team, captain of that team, captain of that team. I always found myself in that role, and I was always the guy on the field, encouraging this guy, encouraging that guy, talking to this guy, pulling this guy, getting this guy to lift his head. Doesn't matter, we can go, we got 20, we can still win, we can do. I was always that guy at that young age, under 10, under 14, under 16. So our journey starts at such a young age, but we only become enlightened much later in life. And yes, it takes someone like yourself in that moment where I say you talk to someone in a crowd, but you talk to them as an individual to actually go, wow, this is it. This is what I can do. This is what I can duplicate. This is what I can take back to my organization and to myself. So I think everyone's journey starts at that very young age, as we've both seen.
George, tell me, what I'm curious is should I say a guy with a strong corporate background, right? How did you find the environment in my training room? How did that go for you? Because the people that end up in that room really range from some really big CEOs, presidents of the companies and things. Then we have doctors, psychologists, veteran psychiatrists. You know, we have a really,
so Robert, let me tell you, right, let me
but
tell
also
you,
housewives and kids. So talk to me. How did you find this environment?
in the beginning it was crazy. It was making me crazy. Right. So in the beginning, I was the uptight corporate guy. Yeah.
Okay.
I came to your course day one. I sat right in the front on the left-hand side. I was focused, you know, and I needed my space. You know, you needed space, you know. And then I had these two people sitting on my left. One guy was on a BlackBerry, ticka, 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 making me crazy in this ear. And then they were whispering to each other, and I'm trying to listen to you. And then I thought, what? Then I kept looking, when's Karina going to come over and tell these people to behave themselves? And then, so I was totally disorientated. And I was so focused on everyone else's world in that moment. But at the time, I didn't realize it. And I left the first day frustrated. And then the second day, I thought, no. And then the third day, I thought to myself, but you know what? When I watch you, nothing, absolutely nothing, interrupted your focus in that session. Some people could rest, some people could sleep, you know, some people could take notes, you know. So you were in such command of that audience that I thought to myself, you know what? I need to change my way of thinking. Then I asked Karina to put the stand-up desk at the back. I don't know if you remember that. So the stand-up tables, I went and stood at the back.
Yeah. Like standing.
Yeah. So I thought to myself, okay, I just need to change my way of thinking. I really like what this guy is saying. So I changed my environment and I went and stood at the back. Also because I preferred to stand and sit down in these sessions. But when I went to the back of the room, I started realizing, hold on a second, you know, that's them doing what they're doing in the room is just my inability to adjust to that environment, you know, because it's amazing. The ego wants you to see wants everyone to see everything the way you want them to see it. And of course, I only grew up as the course went on and realized this a little bit later. So during the course, there's many lessons you take from that course, and I found your ability. It's a very safe environment. I found the environment exceptionally safe, especially from an emotional perspective. You know, as the course goes deeper and deeper, and some people start realizing they got to shed some stuff and they got to leave some stuff behind, and you know, they might go through a couple of techniques where they might deal with some phobias or something of that nature. And it's a very safe environment that you create for many different nationalities, many different, multitude of nationalities, many different religions participate in those groups. And the environment is fantastic. The connection people create through the time, the respect that people have for each other in that environment is amazing. As someone who presents and to different forums myself, I understand the importance of that was created. So it's something that really resonated with me, that the environment was safe. It was an emotionally safe place for people to express themselves. A huge amount of trust gets created over a period of time. Different nationalities, different religions, all participating in the same environment. Very special, very special. Because the learning experience, you also learn from different cultures, from different nationalities. So the more you open yourself up to that environment, the more you learn. You know, but that environment was very special, Robert. I think you do that exceptionally well, and many of my staff, you know, I've sent Arabic-speaking people on the courses. I've sent, we've had many Serbians, we've had many British, We've had some South African go on the course. We've had I've had some Orthodox go on the course. I've had some Muslim staff go on the course. I've had some Christian staff go on the course. So, you know, everyone feels really comfortable in that environment. And when they bring it back to the organization, it's fantastic that it's free flowing. It flows. You know what I mean? That's a nice word. I like to use the word, just let it flow. But in corporate terms, it's friction. You know, it's easy. You know, people connect. It doesn't matter what your culture is, what your background is, what your religion is. Very, very good. Very, very exceptional environment. I must give you kudos for that.
Awesome. So I'm thinking, are you at all in touch with any of the students that were in your training? And of course, I don't mean your staff that came after you, if you know what I mean. The people from the training itself. It's like 4 years later. Are you at all in touch with any one of them?
I'm not in one-on-one conversations with them. However, I do follow many of them. I follow many of them that have taken up different careers and have gone on to either coaching, presenting, in some in a very small way, some in a much bigger way. I do participate sometimes on their social media platforms, etc. Just words of encouragement here and there. So there's a couple that I do follow, but I don't really connect with them on a one-on-one basis. I don't do that, no. But I do watch, and I do see some people are making a very good career for themselves, which is very good, which is very, very exciting, you know, exploring their own possibilities.
Awesome. So George, where's future for you now? What do you see in your future?
The future, you know, the future, is there a future or is there just a now, Robert?
In the next now. In the next now.
Yeah, the next now. You know, for me personally, I'm in a fantastic place with my organization, personally and professionally. I do see myself on a much bigger stage, presenting and changing people's lives. In exactly what that direction is and what the topic is, that'll come to me over time. I am being invited to be an international speaker at different platforms. I did one in Warsaw 2 years ago. I've been invited now to be a guest speaker at the World Fitness Summit in Singapore. So I'll be participating there in the month of October. So many doors are opening. I know why, and I'm looking forward to those opportunities because I also really enjoy it. It's something that resonates with me at a very deep point. So I'm just letting it flow. I'm just letting it flow, Robert. I have a direction, but I'm enjoying every day. I enjoy every day of my current business, and as these opportunities keep coming my way, I just keep tapping into them, and we'll see where they take me. We'll see where they take me into the future.
In my language, you really took ownership of what I call "I don't know what I don't know" attitude. So you're like, I don't know what I don't know, so teach me, bring it, I'm open, right? So I really like openness to continue learning is beautiful to observe, if you know what I mean, because it's so there in everything you do. It seems like it's right there. So I don't know. There's another thing that came popped in my mind. You probably don't know this. During the training, as you know, my coaching modality, you know, I don't exactly give advice to people. I don't tell them what to do. Instead, approach is, let me help you overcome whatever unresourcefulness you find yourself in, and once you are there, you'll tap into your own intelligence and you'll solve your problems, and which is exactly what happens the moment they go to the process. So you know that my kind of coach doesn't need to have all the right advices, if you know what I mean. They don't need to be expert in all those different fields, and yet they can do some tremendous transformative work with clients and assist them in the most appropriate way, actually, right? So,
Yes,
so
yes.
I just don't give advice, okay? But there's this internal joke that happens now in training that anytime somebody says, hey, how do I like get myself back in shape? Like, how do I, on the health side, but not like illness per se, but rather like, how do I kickstart this? How do I, because, obviously with whatever they go through, their mind becomes healthier. It immediately activates this desire to be healthier, to be more energized, vitality
Yes.
kicks in, right? So the moment somebody pops a question, how do I get like healthier as in fitter, right? I go fitness first. And then Corina at the back, she laughs because it's like, dude, you don't give advice, but for this you promote fitness first all the time. And it started unconscious for me. I don't do it like it's not like you pay me to do it, if you know what I mean. It's just that you guys stick around, and the quality of people that you send to me for coaching is just beautiful to have, those people in the room. So I really want to give you heads up in terms of heads off, really, in terms of the environment that you are creating on your side. I mean, obviously you want to take this home and influence all those people that work with you in, like directly. And then you probably did what's really super clever. You made your job easier by getting all those people to convert very quickly, because training is really just 10 days, right? So having them immersed in my environment, converting whatever it is that they wanted to change and shift into this kind of quality thinking, really made your job easier, buddy, right?
100%.
For you, because suddenly, like you said, foundation is there, and it's not just me, it's all those people bringing this home, and we all operating from this place. I think new stuff that comes in, they become part of that team, and they'll be influenced, obviously. Clients that come to you, they're bound to experience, working with your people who are coming from this place. It's very different. I find that even people who come for fitness first, when they come for fitness, the conversations they end up having with their trainers is really mind stuff, is really quality life stuff. So
Yes.
some of them hook to that story and continue working out just for the sake of having this indirect coaching really happening. So it's beautiful. I think you did a really smart thing there.
Robert, thank you. You're absolutely 100% right. My role has become a lot freer from what I used to do, because there's so many. I don't want to call them we got. It's almost so many disciples practicing the same linguistics. So if you follow the personal trainers, or you follow the group exercise instructors on Instagram, for example, and just engage in their language, the messages they're posting, the posts that they're putting out there, the linguistics they're using, it's just across. So we've got 1,300 employees. We've got I would say we've got 2/3 of our employees that are talking that language on social media. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So you're absolutely right. But it's been a combination of some people leaving and then attracting the like-minded people into your organization, which then once you get to that, it's there's a self-prophecy in it. It just keeps growing, and that momentum, it just continues to go. So you're absolutely right. My role actually does become easier from a learning and development perspective. Absolutely, 100%. So thanks to you.
So George, it's almost obsolete question, but I still want to ask you, do you have any words of wisdom for anybody considering, I don't know, my training, or considering embarking on this life coaching path in a way? Do you have any advice for them?
See, first, my advice to people, Robert, is that you go on the training when you feel it. A lot of people are out there saying, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do that? You know what? Go for a coffee. People that really feel it, it resonates with them. They feel it, they feel right. I'm looking to discover something that I need to hang my hat on. I feel it inside of me. I'm ready. You know, when I went on your course, I was ready. And that's why I absorbed so much. So I always encourage people, I always use the words, when you feel it, invest. Yeah, if you're just thinking about it, you're just thinking, oh, this, that, should I? You know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a topic of conversation. You know, someone today is going to Joe Dispenza, someone tomorrow is going to Anthony Robbins, someone the next day is going there. When you feel it, invest, because then you're ready. And that's my advice to people. They must feel it intrinsically inside of them. And when they've got that feeling, then it's absolutely the right moment. It's like falling in love. When you fall in love, you know, you feel it. You think to yourself, wow, what's happening here? This situation, this person has just made me feel different. Then you go for it. You invest and you say, wow, I want more of this. And I believe when it comes to investing in yourself personally, or investing in a course, or investing in a coaching diploma, or investing in your type of program, people must feel it first. And that's what I encourage people to do. When you feel it, come and talk to me, because then you're ready. Because then, Rob, you're always giving 100%. But some people only taking 30, some people only taking 40, some people only taking 60. I encourage people, when they go and see you, they must take 100%. You know, this might sound crazy, but they got to suck you dry for all the knowledge that you share with them. They got to take it all in. They got to open up all of this. They got to open it all up and say, Robert, I'm here. Just give it to me. Because when you're ready, then you will do that. There's no boundaries.
Opportunity, obviously.
Yeah. So my advice to people is feel it. You got to feel it. You got to feel the want. You got to feel the need. You got to feel the love. You got to feel the passion. You got to, whatever that situation is, when you feel it, because that's your sat nav. That's your direction. That's it. Feel it. That's the direction I want to go. Then people are ready. Otherwise,
just to add, I'm obviously 100% aligned with what you're saying. And there is a little challenge that happens. People feel it like that at times, okay? But then they let their insecure thinking or their fearful thinking to get involved. And when fear comes in, it kind of talks them out of it, or they start doubting, when can I, could I, should I, what will happen? You know what I mean? So feelings we can trust when they're coming from that place, right?
yes.
Rather than from the fearful type of thinking. That's
yes.
the feelings I would to guide me in life, right? If anything, that's a reminder, or you know how I feel about negative feelings. Their purpose is to get us back on the path. To tell, ouch, stop thinking this way. It's not aligned with who you are.
Yeah, I only know how you feel about positive feelings.
Sweet.
The impact, Robert, that the course had on me as an individual, on my personal, my professional career has been it's still going. Of course, we know that it's still going. You know, it was such a foundation to launch where we were projecting ourselves to go, but sometimes we just needed a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of help, a little bit of support, a little bit, you know, just find that sweet spot inside of you. And of course, I'm a huge Robert Simic fan, huge, massive. Of course, we promote your course to everyone, and you know, we'll talk about this obviously more when we start the interview formally. But it's I know everyone uses the word game changer. This is bigger than a game. We're not talking about a game of 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes like a football game. This is the game of life that's being transformed. We want to use the word game changer. We're talking about the game of life, and how you lead a company, how you lead teams, how you mentor people, how you encourage them on their journey is the real game changer. So it's been amazing. I think what you do, and I know your courses have grown, and you will have grown since the first one. And you know, I've got people that are ready to go on the next one. This previous one all came a little bit too close, so we couldn't make the arrangements fast enough. But I've got more people on the next one that will be attending, and it's been fantastic, absolutely top draw. That's why when I saw you on the throne, I said, "Where you belong, man." You know what I mean? It's just good boys talk. Just good boys talk. Where you belong. So you know, your ability to influence and encourage people and enlighten them on their journey has been tremendous, absolutely tremendous. So congratulations to you. Since your courses, Robert, I've never been. In fact, I'm using the wrong linguistics here. I'm so excited to come into the office every single day. It's a new adventure for me every single day. And I can tell you now, my business transformation, because that was the main reason I came on the course, was for personal development, and then to transform it, transport it down into the business, and to help the business grow. Our business is off the chart. It's off the charts. Even 3 months after COVID, I'm outperforming prior year's performance figures on cash profit and net profit. Unbelievable, you know. So it you know, we say it takes two to tango. It really takes. You're always better as a team. You're always better in twos or threes or fours when you can encourage someone.
Do all of this on your own. And it's easier with a coach. It's just easier when you have a mentor or somebody to guide you, somebody to be in your corner. Look, George, I became aware of time just now, and I'm like, I'm 15 minutes over. I had a meeting to attend, as I mentioned. That was my limit. I was like, time just stopped. I was not aware at all. So George, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for, well, I tend to say this fairly often in those kind of conversations, but it's something my heart says when it's right, if you know what I mean. Thank you for choosing to be the man that you are today. Your current decisions, your values, your what you stand for in this world really makes my world a better place to be in. My perception of my hallucination of what it is that you do over there and the influence you are creating in your part of the world is just inspiring. So thank you for all of that, and thank you for your choices. Thank you for your continued support, because I'm really grateful for the business you send my way in terms of your stuff, and it's such a beautiful energy there, because what you get back is people who are like on the same page with you, so it's easy to work with them, and it's just beautiful. George, absolutely. I'm sorry to cut it off like this, just because I was like, whoa, time, no, I'm late. So thank you one more time. I'll be by all November, I believe. So pop in, buddy. Come for lunch. Let's catch up again. Let's just spend some time together.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time. God bless you, and thanks for choosing me.